Hello, beautiful people. I am live for day 2 of the Creator Masterclass. Huge welcome to you. I'd love to know how are you doing. Please say hi as you're jumping on. If you're watching the replay, please let me know that you have watched the replay. I'd really love to know who is in our field, who is being impacted by this work. And yesterday we had a glorious start with day 1, which was all about landing into the realization that you are the creator of your reality. And I know that many of you have done the homework. How was your homework? Did you do the riff? Did you listen to my riff? I loved recording it. It was really fun for me to record it. And when you record your riff, I want you to really bring a real depth of intention into it. Like really say it like you mean it. Because sometimes I hear people say things like you don't feel their essence in them. Like, okay, yes, I want to be the creator of my reality. I believe all the good things are coming to me. Like, come on, own it. Like, bring your fire into it. Say yes to it. Cool. I really love that you are, that you love doing it. Do that homework. If you missed it, do it. So if you missed day 1, you can go ahead and watch the replay. It's there on my feed on Instagram. And we talked about the quantum. We talked about this interconnected universe in which we exist and how it's not even any kind of woo-woo stuff. It's actually proven by science. And how within that intelligent field, we are constantly creating our life. And we better become really intentional about it and really conscious and create the most magnificent life. And today, I will go deeper into some parts that may be impacting the reality that we are creating, but not from a place where we are choosing that kind of reality. Yeah, so we have very powerful conscious mind that we are aware of and that can be trained, and that's the one that we really have exercised and accessed most of our lives. And that's conscious mind is basically what we know, like what we think, what we identify with, where we are being pulled in life, and so on. But then there is another magnificent, very important part, which is the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is the part of us that usually exists in the shadow land. So the shadow is a terminology that was first brought by Carl Jung, a brilliant psychologist, and that created such groundbreaking concepts that we're still using and benefiting tremendously from. So the shadow is the unaddressed, unacknowledged, denied, or unowned parts of us. Yeah? So it's a part that we are not consciously aware of. It's a part that we don't see. And yet it is active. It is constantly active, and it is there. It is showing up, not as that, like we don't see it as it is, but it's showing up indirectly. So it's showing up through our emotions. It's showing up through our triggers. It's showing up through our grand admiration of someone, which might be an unusual thing for you to hear, but I will explain. It may be showing up through our moods, through our fears, through our desires. And the thing is that no matter what you may be intentional about, no matter what kind of intention you may wanna follow through in your life, what is your actual desire, you may look at your life and you go like, wow, it's just like my life is so far away from that. It's just not there. And it is because of that. It is because of the shadow, because you have not acknowledged what's happening in the shadow land. So I'm really excited to dive in deep into this today. You have also amazing homework that I prepared for you. I will speak about the two different parts of shadow. So make sure to stick through, to take notes, and also be ready for really amazing homework. I have to like really explain the homework and really because there's a guided journey that I've created for you. Really excited for you to do that. It may open such depth for you. So I'm excited for that. But let's go first right in. Are you ready? Are you ready to go into the shadow land with me? Can I be your guide into your shadow land? Excited? Some people are like, shadow? No, I don't have shadow. It's not me. It's just, it's other people. It's like for those dark people. Me, no, I don't have shadow. I know everything about myself. Are you like this? Do we have people like this here? Like, no, shadow. Well, likely if you've joined, probably you have an intuition that there may be something in the shadow land that you may be not seeing. And other people are like hungry. They're like, yes, I want to go in the darkness. I have enough. I want to meet myself in the very depth and nothing will stop me from that. Do we have people like that? We have all sorts of people, I think, here. But here we are. Let's do it. Yeah, I believe that to be the creator of our life, we have to have so much courage, and we have to be willing to show up continuously for what I was speaking about yesterday. People, if you take it into your practice, if you really take it seriously, because so many people hear those kind of things in different concepts, in different, the way I said it, it's my way to say it. I don't know, some of you messaged me and said like, wow, the way you explain it, I really finally got it. So that's great. And yet, what is important is that you actually implement it and you really start looking at your life through that lens. What energy am I emitting? And anyway, to be the creator of our reality, we have to be like really willing to go like, okay, I want to see it. Enough of this denial, enough of all the light and love kind of thing. Like, I am here for all of it. I am here for the totality of the human experience. So, yes, good. I know some of you are afraid of your shadow. Well, that's the thing, that we are afraid of it because like we have portrayed it as something so dark and like we imagine like a monster there. But I have to tell you, from my 10 years of experience of holding transformational events, whenever we go into the shadow, always in the beginning, there are people who are like, ooh, I don't know if I'm in the right place, where is the exit? Oh, no. And no, I don't want to touch that because I'm afraid that some old wounds will come up. So they imagine, like we tend to imagine that there is like a monster and we will be so scared. But I have to tell you that in 100%, I will say that actually confidently, that in 100% cases, when you get to see the shadow, it's far less monstrous than you imagine. It's because when we don't see things, we imagine them to be, and we blow things out of proportions with our minds. Yeah, the mind likes to escalate, to create like a drama kind of sense. So drop the drama. Are we creators or what? Let's show up. Let's show up as the warriors, as creators, people who are claiming, owning, and taking full responsibility. Full responsibility. These are my people, the people who are choosing to take full responsibility, choosing to show up as a leader of your life. Let's do that. I know you're here. Okay, so when we don't see the shadow, what we get to know is that what we get to see is the effects of the shadow. What we don't see the subconscious beliefs, but we see the effects of them. We see how it's impacting our life. We see ourselves being depleted. We see ourselves being scared. We see ourselves being anxious. We see ourselves being depressed, frustrated. All of that is a product of the shadow, actually, of those subconscious beliefs that are constantly emitting energy, what I was talking about yesterday, so constantly emitting energy into the field and attracting more of the things to be anxious, scared, depressed, and worried about. Yeah? So we don't see the beliefs, but we see their effect. We feel their effect. Wherever in your life where you feel it's not how you would have liked it to be, it's not exactly what you were hoping for, it's not the life of your dreams, this is because there is a part of you, namely your subconscious mind, that is emitting a frequency that is drawing this exact situation to you. Own it, yeah, own it that you've created it, because then you can change it. So, shadow, 2 parts. First part of the shadow will be quite refreshing. It's a golden shadow. Golden shadow is our unutilized potential. Because, in fact, we have the potential within us to be absolutely anyone or accomplish absolutely anything. We have that potential. Every one of us has that seed potential within. Practically speaking, of course, some things are closer to us and some things are like we are not meant to embody everything in one lifetime. But some things are closer to us. And those things actually those things that they are our natural gifts, like places where we are really like our potential to be our best self, our potential to really shine, to really embody our gift. These are the potentials that the universe really wants us to embody, because this is how the universe expresses itself. It is through our gifts, through our light, through the way we shine, through our uniqueness, when we really truly embody our unique gift. This is how the universe shines her light into the existence. So it is in the interest of the universe for each of us to find those gifts. And the golden shadow, it will show up in people that you really admire, people that you put on a pedestal, people that have something that you're like, wow, this is just such a beautiful quality. Look at this person. I love this success that she has. Wow, look at her. She's so sensual. Wow, look at him. He's so charismatic. Wow, this person is like, wow, but how can they have all this knowledge? How can they have all this charisma, all this charm about them? Like, I love that. And you look, and then sometimes you might really feel inspired by that. And other times you might feel a bit like, oh, a little pain around this, like a little bit like, oh, like, wow, like, can I even stand next to this person? Like, they seem to be like really amazing. Like, can I even be in the same room with this person? Attention, shadow, golden one, golden shadow. Whenever you have that thing, it's a pointer to something that you have inside of you. Does it land? Whenever you admire something about somebody, it's a pointer to that in yourself. We can only see that which is within us. Whenever you see something brilliant about somebody, it's a mirror of what you have on the inside. Your capacity to notice exactly that, it is the indication that it's within you. Think of somebody you admire. Think of somebody you adore. I remember having this conversation with my friend when we were really sharing with each other about the golden shadow that we see in each other. And she told me, like, I love how you are so direct about what works for you and what doesn't, and how you never engage in small talk, how you always just, like, you can leave at any point. You don't feel like you have to stick with anything that is not you don't enjoy. So she told me that she loves that about me, and I'm like, but I see that you're doing this thing all the time. She's like, really? I feel like I'm always staying in situations that I don't enjoy. I'm like, what? This is incredible. And then I told her that, wow, I really love how cat-like and sensual you are. It's just so beautiful the way you move through the house. Like, I just love being in your presence. It's just such a feminine, juicy way of being. And, you know, she says, what? Like, you have exactly those qualities. So sometimes it's really like that. It's really like so obvious. And then I'm like, yeah, actually that's true. I've always also received that kind of compliment in my life, and I can recognize those qualities in myself. Other times it's not as obvious. Yeah. So think about somebody and comment here. What do you admire about people? Like, what is like really the quality that you're like, oh my God, like, I love this. Maybe it's their eloquence, maybe it's their style, maybe it's their capacity to explain very complex subjects, maybe it's their brilliance in just their mind is just so brilliant. Maybe some people are crying. Also, yesterday you were crying. Your tears are welcome. Let yourself feel all of this. I'm with you. I'm holding you in this. Fearlessness. Yeah, you see someone fearless, someone clear, courageous, sensual, someone who is delicate in the way they talk and move. Their ability to know themselves and their thoughts. So all of those things, you see them. Like Alisa, for example, she says, Grace, I know you personally, and I know how graceful you are. Like the way you move through the space when we're together in a training, like, it's just like she has this feminine way to flow through the space. It's there, yeah? So for every one of you, because I don't know all of you personally, I haven't seen you all personally, but I can still assure that you have all of that within yourself. Just think about this, those qualities. When people who share their love generously, think about this. Haven't there been situations where you've shared your love generously? Sensuality, don't you know your own sensuality? Softness, don't you own your own softness? Don't you know it? Being unapologetic. Can you remember situations where you were unapologetic and really took your space? What about when we admire those qualities in someone else and at the same time fear and resent it? Well, that's exactly the indication. Because it will, if you don't recognize it as something that's pointing towards you, you will inevitably start to resent it. Because you will inevitably put that person on a pedestal and they will inevitably fall from that pedestal. Because it's not a sustainable place for anybody to be. Nobody is perfect. Don't put people on pedestals. But you will if you don't own your golden shadow. If you keep projecting it on them, no, it's this person, they are so special, they are so unique, they are so powerful. If you keep projecting it out and like not noticing it within yourself and knowing that, yeah, I also have that, and I also have some other gifts, and yes, this gift is maybe less developed right now, but I see that inside of myself and I can develop it. And this person, I see that in them, and they also have their downfalls and they have their mess and they have their things they're still working through, you know, that's what happens. So it's beautiful. You've seen, thank you so much for loving my head. I love it too. It's the first time I'm wearing it actually. So, that's the thing of the golden shadow. Another way to acknowledge your golden shadow is to just think of things that bring you joy, things that you enjoy doing, things like where you really love to do that, like you really feel like you are at your best. Think about those things. It's in your homework. You have a whole kind of space to reflect on that and enjoy that. If you didn't receive the journal, sign up for the Creator Masterclass. It's in my bio, link in my bio. There you can sign up and you will receive the beautiful journal guidebook I've prepared for you. So, you're so welcome, beautiful people. Let's go further. The golden shadow is like that, yeah? You can identify it through seeing it reflected in somebody else and also just owning what you really love to do and where you really know it's like you love doing this. It does not have any rational reason for you to love it. It doesn't seem like it's productive. It doesn't seem like it's even making you money. It doesn't seem like it's like, it doesn't feel useful. Yeah, it can be like that. It also can be useful, but you may see like, I have no idea why I do that, but I just like to do this. Like my partner Oliver was, he got really interested in studying about crypto. Yeah, and he was like into it, and the NFT and like all of those things. Like he was really curious about it, and he was just studying at first, and he would tell me like, yeah, I don't know, I'm spending so much time on this, but actually it feels like it's not really like part of my business. I don't know, I'm like, but you really love doing it. Like I see you're all lit up when you're doing it. It's like it's meeting something inside of you. And then he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, so just do it because you enjoy it. And then later on you will see. Because we won't usually see in the moment why we are so pulled towards something. You cannot go like, okay, I'm pulled towards this because this is going to make me rich. This is going to make me happy. No, you're just pulled there. So follow that pull, and that's also what he did. And then eventually he actually saw that, like, he started getting visions, how he can utilize it, how he can develop something, and I'm pretty sure it will turn out into something really important for him. So, the golden shadow, that's the one. The second one is a bit more challenging. I deliberately started with an easy one to light up our space, but the second one will also light us up, but there might be a challenging entry. So stick with me. The second shadow is the dark shadow. And the dark shadow is the subconscious beliefs that are keeping us stuck. These are the subconscious beliefs that are keeping us stuck. That they show up in us feeling depleted. They are sucking our energy. They are making us frustrated. They are just creating a low energy vibe in our life. These are the dark shadows. And again, we don't see them, but we see their effect. We see how they have impacted our health. We see their effect on our relationships, on any dysfunctions that we see in our lives, any poor habits, any obsessions, any addictions. This is all product of the dark shadows. And these dark shadows, they are undermining all our best intentions. They are backing it. Yeah, they are backing the vibration that we are putting out, and we're just staying in that stuckness and undermining anything that we want to create, that we are choosing to create. So all those desires you have written when I asked you in my post, all of those desires, if they are not coming to fruition, it means that they are being blocked somewhere. They're being blocked somewhere in your subconscious mind by a belief. Because, please pay attention to this, this is a very important point. Breakthrough moment, potentially. Beliefs have stronger power than desire. Beliefs are very strong. And most of the beliefs are not conscious. Because, as I said yesterday, it's 95% of our mind that is unconscious. So the subconscious, this is how much there is in the darkness. And most of it, so it's 95% of different patterns, of different habits. And most of them, there will be some really good ones, but many of them will be informed by our wounds. They will be informed by anything difficult that happened in childhood, any patterns, any beliefs we inherited, anything we kept receiving repeated imprint about. Yeah, if we were continuously told, don't sit, like my grandmother would say, don't talk to strangers. If someone invites you to come in their car, don't sit, it's dangerous. This is dangerous. If someone is ringing on the door, this is dangerous. It may be someone maybe not a good person. Never open the door when you're by yourself. you know, like this kind of thing, and then it's repeated, and then it creates beliefs, patterns, fear of people, expecting the worst from people, all that kind of stuff. So the subconscious keeps our beliefs and it holds them, and if we don't choose to look at them actively, if we don't choose to catch them and name them and bring them towards us, then they just keep ruling our life. And typically something really has to shake us for that. It's not typical that we just all of a sudden I realized I had this subconscious belief. Sometimes it can happen, but usually something has to shake us. Something has to stir us up. Something confronting has to happen. Something unlucky maybe, that we have to be shaken by life. And that's why actually challenging situations also serve us, because they shake us, they wake us up. They're like, hey, have a look, what are you creating? And in something I worked through recently was a very powerful belief that I held. And the belief was about money. So I used to think, and it was not a conscious thought, it was a subconscious thought. But due to my upbringing, due to how I was, like my whole spiritual upbringing, how I was brought up, and also it was my parents, I had this relationship with money that I kind of didn't want to get too involved with money. It's okay, it's there, it's okay, but I didn't want to get involved with money or grow my finances. That was my way of being. And at some point in my business, I got to a place of getting really uninspired. And I felt kind of stuck. And I was considering quitting. And I was really shocked by that, because it was such, my business never started as a business. It started as a soul calling. It started as a way to express my soul. It started as a way to translate the language of my heart on this planet. I never considered it was going to be a business. But then it became a business, yeah. I started running retreats and doing private work with people, and creating different offerings. And at some point, there came this place of stuckness. And I realized that not only was I stuck emotionally and just not inspired, but I was also just in the same place financially. And what was happening at the time, that I would have an average of 20K months, that I would make 20,000 in my business. And then some months it would be high, because I would run a retreat, and it would go up to 70 or 80. And then it would be again 20, something like that. That was the thing. And then I saw that actually it was the average. That's where my business was staying, at that kind of level. And then something shook me. And what happened was, it didn't seem to be related to my business, but I was with my partner. We went to a restaurant and he forgot his wallet. So typically he pays when we go out, he pays. And we went out and he didn't have his wallet, so I needed to pay. And I paid, and as I was paying, I held my breath. And then I just wanted to just muscle through it and not acknowledge that I was really triggered by that. Because it didn't make sense to me. Why would I be so triggered? What's the big deal, just paying in a restaurant? But I was really, really triggered on the inside. Then we left, and I was just really cold and numb and quiet. And he's really good at noticing when that happens to me. And he was like, hey, are you here? Where are you? What's happening? And I would say, well, I actually am really, really activated right now, super triggered. And I'm really ashamed at the same time. And he'll be like, wow, what's a big deal? And so we started talking about it. And through a lot of shame, I explained to him that I was extremely triggered because I paid in the restaurant. And because I had such a big reaction to that, I had to look at it. I had to take it to my mentor. I had to take it into our session, and I had to look at it together with her. And what I came to see was that I had a very significant, deep belief that was really deep, like buried deep in my subconscious, in the shadow land. A belief that money is dirty. The belief that money is not spiritual. That was exactly the belief, that money is not spiritual, and that my work should not be about money, and that nothing has to be about money, because money is not a spiritual energy. Whew. Well, that was amazing for me to see, because that's not what I believe consciously. I believe consciously that money in the right hands is a beautiful resource, and that it's a spiritual part. It has a spiritual energy if it is received and exchanged in the context of spirituality. And people who know what to do with money can turn it into glorious, beautiful resource that supports expression of love, actually. But at that time, I kept myself like, oh no, my business is not about the money. Yeah, it's good. I pay salaries to my employees. It's all like fine. I have my standard of living, so on, but not more than that. So just enough, not more. And then I started to look at this and to go like, wow, I have this belief inside of me. Is it serving me? Not just this process. Yeah. Is it serving me? I was asking myself, no, it's not serving me. Really, not at all. Because this is not what I want to embody. This is not what I want to live. I want to live a life of abundance. I want to model life. I want to invite my people into the life of abundance, where we have more than enough. We live on a frequency of abundance, and we create more abundance in the world. And may all the money be in the hands of conscious people, because we are the ones who know what to do with the money and how to make them into beautiful resource. So I got to, there's a bit of a backstory, because I saw that actually there was a wound underneath that as a child I had to ask for money. And I'm not going to go into detail about this, but there was a wound that was created in that. In my family, like, I had to be the one asking for money. And every time I had to do it, I felt so bad. I wanted to disappear. I felt all contracted on the inside, and I was short of breath. And I felt like, okay, I'll just do it, and kind of close my eyes and just do it. And every time I didn't know if I was going to get the money or not, but it was challenging. Yeah. And in my family, we always had enough for the right good things, enough for good food, but not more than, not more to enjoy life, to create a real sense of prosperity. So there was a wound for me created and impacted by the way I was brought up, how it was in my family. And once that belief cracked, once I saw it, once I named it, again, this is an important piece, to name it, to go like, okay, I see that. Okay, something has to die. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't choose that. It has to die. And that's the work of the shadow land, to identify what has to die. And something in me had to die. A part of me that believed in that belief had to die. And something had to be born. And what had to be born is a new belief, and a really powerful belief, and really owning that belief that was already in my conscious mind, but I had to really give it power. And then the next months, I had a 60K months, and then it just stayed like that. And eventually it was 6-figure months, and then 80, 90, and again 6 figures, and more. Like this, it cracked. I didn't do anything differently. I did, yes, I tried different things in my business all the time, but at the same time, I actually kept doing pretty much the same thing. Just the belief has changed. The quantum, that's how it works. So, amazing that you have this, so many of you have the same wound. So that's the thing, to acknowledge those wounds, to see where those beliefs are coming from, because there's always a wound underneath. There's always some kind of pain. And wherever you see in your life that something is not working, look at the beliefs. You will encounter lots of beliefs that are there. And again, it might be difficult to find because they are in the subconscious mind, but I created an experience for you to do exactly that. And it is through going into specific breath pattern, into being supported by music, by my voice, by my guidance. You have an experience for you to go and do that, to look at what is there, what are the shadows that you haven't been seeing, and how they are ruling your life. So I'm really excited for you to do that. It's in your Day 2 guidebook. So yeah, basically that's the work. The golden shadow, dark shadow, and see how you liberate yourself by acknowledging those things and asking yourself those questions. What is ready to die? What is being birthed? Because there's always, it's a nature of life that we are always in the process of death and rebirth. Death and rebirth. We are constantly in that process. We should not deny that process. We should not disconnect from that process. That's just how we are made. And all the mystics of all times, all people who have been fascinated by the depth of life, we always have been pulled into the underworlds. We've always been invited there. Do you dare to respond to that calling? So I saw a question there. So what's interesting is that you would have thought the belief had to do with the masculine, but it was deeper than that, that it was about money being dirty, or their layers. Of course there can be layers, but I saw how it was really impacting my life as a whole. And what was really huge in my life is that I was stuck in my work that is like the part of my life that is always full of inspiration, that is my way to commune with the divine, that is my way to express my heart, and I was stuck in that. And then being financially in the same place is also a way how we see that we are being stuck. And how you make the belief die is where you acknowledge what is there and you check, are you choosing it? Are you choosing this belief or not? And when you see that you're not choosing it, it's not serving you, it's not serving your vision, your desire of the life that you really are here to live, to embody the one you came here to be, you have to ask yourself, is this belief serving? And then you have to choose, and choose what belief it will serve you instead. So that's the work. And I want to talk to you about an opportunity to dive deeper with me into all of that. So if you're complete for the day, that's beautiful, and I'll see you tomorrow. And if you want to know what I have in store for you, I'll go right into that. And I hope you are excited as I am, because we have an opportunity to be together in a smaller container, in a group of people where we are really working deep, and I guide you into embodying the one you came here to be. So the next training that I have, which starts on the 10th of February, and it has 10 sessions plus a Q&A, it's called the Charisma of Success. It's a second module of In Service to Love. We are now halfway through. We have just completed the first module of In Service to Love, and the second module begins in just some days. And I'm so excited about this one because it's really about embodying the one you came here to be. It's just, this training, it's all about unleashing your power. It's all about unleashing your capacity for success, because we all want to be successful. That's how we are wired. And success means different things for all of us. And sometimes we get lost in thinking that success is about possessions and more possessions. This is superficial. Yeah, but the success, what it means for you, you were born for it, you were wired for it. The universe wants you to succeed. And in the training, we are working exactly on that, how to unleash your deepest power, how to tap into the strategy behind the strategy. As I was sharing in my story, what unleashed next level of success for me was something energetic, was something for me to align energetically, not something like a new idea, a new business idea that I created. It was an internal shift. So in Charisma of Success, we are working on these internal shifts and how to transform ourselves and then become who we came here to be, and how others get transformed just in our energy. It's not so much about even how to say, what kind of strategy to use, but it's just who you are that shines through you, and people get touched and get infected by what you radiate, by the love that you radiate, by the power, by the beauty, by the alignment that you radiate. So we have this training starting on the 10th. You can join it now. It costs $1,777, 1777. The price will increase on Tuesday. So it's deep work, 10 modules of really profound, deep dive with a lot of guided work, a lot of deep work of really unraveling what is there inside of you, what is that deepest gift inside of you that you, it's like it's sitting within you, and there's so much space for you to open into it and let it shine forth. So if you are excited about that, let me know. If you have any questions about this, let me know. We are also here for you in the messages, like if you want to ask a question about it. Actually, Maria, if you're here, please drop a link to Charisma of Success so that you guys can go register if you're ready for it. You're welcome to ask anything additional about it in the messages, through the email. We are here for you. And we already have a powerful group that continues. So they have just done module 1 and they continue to module 2. They're beautiful. They have already done deep, great work on clarity. And now we are dropping into the body. So that's it for today. It's been a pleasure to dive into the shadow with you. And tomorrow we are going to talk about the aligned action, which is usually an overlooked piece in the creation process. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much for today. You also can still join the giveaway, by the way. Remember about that. Here's the link. So thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your Saturday. Ciao, ciao.